All right, Cowboys fans, buckle up because we're diving deep into everything happening with Dallas right now. The offseason chatter is heating up, and the front office is making moves and plans that could define the next chapter for the team. Everyone keeps asking if they can afford to keep all the big names, and honestly, it looks like they might actually pull it off. The cap situation is flexible, and the team has a history of restructuring contracts to make space for key players. There's a strategy in play where they might not be super active in free agency if they choose to retain core contributors like Kenny Clark, OSA, Quinnen, and Pickens. Some names might be moved around or let go, especially among the defensive tackles, but the approach seems calculated. It's the kind of plan that works because the salary cap keeps climbing at a rate that teams can adapt to. Smart front offices can take on some dead money while still keeping essential talent, and the Cowboys have shown they're capable of playing that game. Not every player hits the market, so timing and strategy are everything. By the time free agency opens, a lot of targets are already off the board, which makes planning ahead crucial. The logic is sound, but you do have to be consistent and disciplined to make it actually work. Every offseason presents new challenges, and the Cowboys front office has proven it can navigate the financial puzzle with some savvy. Moving over to the field, one of the big highlights this week was the debut of Savone Revel. He had a solid first game, showing flashes of why he's considered a promising addition. 19 snaps, almost all in coverage, and he performed well against the Raiders' passing game. Only 2 targets came his way, with 1 catch for 4 yards, and he committed a single penalty. For a player making his first real appearance in over a year, that is a strong showing. The coaching staff and Jerry Jones seem encouraged by what he brought to the table. Revel himself admitted that the speed of the game was a shock at first, but he quickly adjusted. Coming from ECU, there's always a significant jump when stepping into an NFL game, and he handled it like a professional. Watching him track tight ends, stay disciplined, and react quickly to plays was impressive, and it's clear the team will continue to find ways to incorporate him into passing situations. Early in the season, integrating a young corner into the rotation is as much about exposure and learning as it is about immediate impact, and Revel showed he can handle that challenge. The cornerback group as a whole also had interesting performances. Kalen Carson played every snap, showing his endurance and consistency, although he was targeted 6 times, allowing 4 catches for 68 yards. While that might sound concerning at first glance, considering the tight end plays and first down conversions, it was actually a respectable effort. Don Bland had arguably his best game of the season, outside of a single pick-six moment. 9 targets against him resulted in only 4 catches for 34 yards, with as many pass breakups as first downs allowed. That's efficiency in coverage that any defense would take. Strategically, it looked like the team maximized their personnel. Carson on the outside, Bland mixed between outside and nickel packages, and Revel coming off the bench for key passing downs seemed like a smart deployment of talent. Notably, other defensive backs like Kerr, Elam, and Triku didn't see snaps, suggesting the coaching staff is very selective with who they trust in certain matchups. Managing who plays when is crucial to keeping the defense sharp and limiting mistakes. And the rotation this week indicated a thoughtful approach. Linebacker rotations were heavier than usual, with about 20 to 22 defensive players seeing the field against the Raiders. The safeties played critical roles as well, with Donovan Wilson taking 48 snaps and Mally Cooker 44. Maris Bell, whom many expected to be limited, played 27 and even made an interception. The communication among the safeties was crisp, and big plays were minimal. Offenses had almost no success on throws beyond 20 yards, and that's a testament to preparation and execution. Linebackers like Kenneth Murray, Logan Wilson, Demarion Over, and Shamar James rotated to keep everyone fresh and maintain defensive integrity. Each player brought pros and cons. Murray with his splash plays, Wilson with some coverage vulnerability, but overall, the rotation worked, especially against an offense like the Raiders. Adjusting rotation based on matchups is critical, and it looks like the coaching staff is laying the groundwork for smart decision-making as the season progresses. The balance between athleticism, instincts, and coverage skills will continue to be tested, particularly against teams with more explosive receiving threats. Defensive line performance, particularly from Terrence Steele, was also a talking point. Steele started over Nathan Thomas after the bye week, showing the coaching staff's trust in his abilities. Facing someone like Max Crosby is no easy task, but Steele held his own. He was responsible for solid run blocking and generated pressure when opportunities arose. A couple of pressures weren't entirely his fault due to miscommunications on complex plays, but overall, he was a stabilizing force on the line. This reflects the ongoing adjustments the Cowboys are making, both in personnel decisions and in game strategy. Managing the trenches and creating favorable matchups up front has always been a key to success, and Steele's performance was a step in the right direction. The combination of defensive line pressure, smart linebacker rotation, and a disciplined secondary creates the foundation for a defense that can keep the team competitive in tight games. All of this sets the stage for the Cowboys' evolving season. They are blending careful cap management with on-field rotations, giving young players opportunities to prove themselves while maintaining veteran stability. The strategic choices in personnel and deployment show a front office and coaching staff thinking several steps ahead. From defensive line to secondary coverage, each adjustment seems deliberate with a long-term plan in mind. Whether it's keeping key players under contract, integrating rookies, or rotating veterans to maximize effectiveness, the Cowboys are positioning themselves for a season where depth, preparation, and smart decisions could make all the difference. Turning back to the secondary, the way the Cowboys handle coverage assignments shows a lot of thought behind their defensive philosophy. The combination of Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, and Maris Bell at safety created a balanced structure that allowed corners to take calculated risks. Bell's interception, while partly assisted by Kenneth Murray tipping the pass, highlights the importance of positioning and anticipation. These moments reflect how the coaching staff is emphasizing communication and awareness across the field. Deep throws were effectively limited, and the defense maintained discipline throughout. When quarterbacks like Geno Smith attempted long passes, they found a wall in the Cowboys' secondary, forcing shorter completions and minimizing explosive plays. This is exactly the type of game plan that sets up success in the more challenging matchups down the line. Linebacker play was equally nuanced. Rotating Kenneth Murray, Logan Wilson, Demarion Over, and Shamar James allowed each player to bring their strengths to the game while keeping the unit fresh. Murray made some of the bigger splash plays, particularly when tipping passes into the hands of defenders, while Wilson had moments where his reaction speed was slightly delayed, giving up yards and space. The balance here is delicate because each player's skill set differs. Against the Eagles, these nuances will be even more critical. Wilson might struggle in open space against a fast tight end or slot receiver, while Murray's instincts can sometimes be tested in complex offensive schemes. The coaching staff seems aware of these dynamics, adjusting rotations and responsibilities with an eye toward both immediate results and long-term development. Meanwhile, on the defensive line, Terrence Steele demonstrated versatility and consistency. He handled pressures from a tough pass rusher, Max Crosby, and contributed positively to the run game. The coaching staff clearly favored Steele's quick trigger and ability to execute within the scheme over Nathan Thomas. While not flawless, Steele's performance represents an improvement in areas that had been concerns earlier in the season. Pass protection, defensive line leverage, and run-stopping effectiveness are all areas where even small improvements can translate to better outcomes for the entire defense. The strategic choice to start Steele indicates trust in his abilities and a willingness to let competition drive performance. Shifting to the cornerback matchups, Kalen Carson and Don Bland were tested but held up admirably. Carson faced 6 targets and allowed 4 catches for 68 yards, but 2 of those completions were disrupted by well-timed defensive actions. Bland, on the other hand, had 9 targets with 4 completions for 34 yards, matching first downs allowed with pass breakups. This efficiency demonstrates how the Cowboys are maximizing their defensive schemes, positioning players to minimize mistakes while capitalizing on opportunities. By rotating players strategically, The coaching staff ensures that younger or less experienced players are supported and not overexposed, while veterans handle more complex scenarios. Rebels' inclusion in passing downs further enhances flexibility and allows the team to adjust based on offensive tendencies. The plan seems to be to gradually increase his snaps, ensuring he gains experience without being overwhelmed, which is critical for a young corner stepping into a higher level of competition. Safety play continues to anchor the defense. Wilson and Cooker logged significant snaps, with Bell contributing crucially in key situations. The communication across the secondary was sharp, and the rotation of players allowed for strategic rest periods while maintaining performance. This coordination limits vulnerabilities and reduces the likelihood of breakdowns against faster or more complex offensive sets. The emphasis on rotation also speaks to the Cowboys' broader philosophy. Depth is leveraged to maintain competitiveness across all quarters, not just in brief spurts. By balancing experience, skill sets, and physical readiness, the defense creates a more resilient unit capable of adjusting to different game flows. The Cowboys' approach to rotational play doesn't end with the secondary. Linebackers and defensive line personnel were handled with a clear understanding of situational football. Each snap is evaluated not just by who is on the field, but by matchup context, tendencies, and player readiness. This attention to detail can often be the difference in tight games, especially when facing opponents with very defensive weapons. The rotation system also allows players to maintain peak physical performance, reducing fatigue and minimizing mistakes in critical moments. For a team that aims to stay competitive deep into the season, managing player energy and focus is just as important as talent on paper. Offensively, the team's adjustments complement the defensive structure. While the transcription focused heavily on defense, the underlying theme is that Dallas is building a roster capable of responding dynamically. By managing contracts, rotating personnel, and prioritizing player readiness, the Cowboys are essentially preparing for multiple contingencies. The front office's financial strategy, coupled with coaching decisions on field, demonstrates a commitment to sustainability and long-term success. Each week, these choices are tested in live game conditions, and early signs indicate a thoughtful balance between developing talent, maintaining competitiveness, and preparing for more challenging opponents ahead. Looking at young players like Revel and others, it's clear that the Cowboys are prioritizing growth alongside results. Rookie contributions are integrated carefully, and rotations ensure that learning occurs without undue pressure. The strategic mix of veterans and younger players creates an environment where experience guides talent, mistakes are minimized, and confidence is built. This measured approach allows the team to evolve organically while still competing at a high level. Coaching decisions reflect not only the present game plan, but also a vision for future depth and capability. By carefully planning rotations and snap counts, the Cowboys ensure that they are not only reacting to the current season, but also preparing for long-term success. The defensive line, corners, linebackers, and safeties are all pieces of a larger puzzle. Each group is being evaluated and optimized for both performance and adaptability. The decisions about who plays where, when, and against which offensive packages are deliberate. Terrence Steele, Don Bland, Kalen Carson, Savone Revel, Kenneth Murray, and others are all being positioned to maximize team efficiency. This balance of strategic foresight and situational flexibility allows Dallas to manage games more effectively, respond to challenges, and exploit opponent weaknesses. The coaching staff's attention to detail, combined with a front office willing to invest in key players, sets a foundation for a season where preparation, execution, and adaptability could lead to meaningful success. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be the most shocking move of the NFL season, whispers have turned into a roar. Patrick Mahomes is reportedly leaving the Kansas City Chiefs to join the Dallas Cowboys. Sources close to the situation suggest that the superstar quarterback has agreed to terms with the Cowboys, sending shockwaves through the league and leaving Chiefs fans in a state of disbelief. Mahomes, who has become synonymous with Kansas City's identity and success, is rumored to have been intrigued by a new challenge and the allure of reuniting with a team that has long chased championship glory but never quite captured it. The buzz started quietly, with insiders hinting at behind-the-scenes negotiations that have been taking place for months. Mahomes' name, always a centerpiece in trade talks and draft speculations, has now reportedly become a central figure in a move that could redefine the balance of power in the NFL. Dallas, known for its star-studded legacy and relentless pursuit of the spotlight, is said to have made an offer too tempting to refuse. While the financial details remain undisclosed, league analysts speculate that the contract could set a new benchmark for quarterback deals. Reactions have been immediate and intense. Social media platforms are ablaze with speculation, memes, and debates over the potential impact on both franchises. Chiefs supporters are reportedly stunned, grappling with the notion of losing the quarterback who led them to multiple playoff appearances and a Super Bowl victory. Meanwhile, Cowboys fans are elated at the prospect of pairing Mahomes with a team eager to reclaim its historic dominance, imagining a future where Dallas becomes a must-watch powerhouse once again. NFL insiders caution that while rumors are rampant, nothing is officially confirmed, yet the volume of chatter suggests something monumental is underway. If Mahomes officially dons the star-studded silver and blue, analysts predict a seismic shift in the league, not just on the field but in the front offices, draft strategies, and even fan loyalty dynamics. Every move, every comment, every subtle gesture is being dissected for clues as the sports world holds its breath for what could be one of the most talked-about transitions in NFL history. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.